Hey, Podcrush, Matt here.
And Jordan here.
Hey everyone! Today we're going to take a look at several different types of empty cart detectors. Now, as most of you probably know, the vanilla detector rail in Minecraft, as you see down there, detects any sort of cart, regardless of if someone is inside of it or not. So instead, members of the Minecraft community have created several various ingenious methods of empty cart detection, and I'll be going over 6 of these, as you see there, in this video. The first detector I'm going to show you is actually one that no longer works in the latest Minecraft version, but I'm going to show it to you anyway just for historical purposes. Now, the whole reason why this one no longer works is because it relies on the old style glitch boosters, and they used to be a very popular way of propelling carts before powered rails were introduced to Minecraft. Now, how this detector works is an incoming cart would come along and land on this stone pressure plate. If the car was occupied, it would engage the switch ahead on the track. So that means that occupied carts would go straight ahead, while empty carts would by default go onto this siding here. Now, the glitch booster is necessary because it's needed to guide the incoming cart across this plate. If the booster wasn't here, the car would just simply flop onto this plate and not go any further. You can sort of test it here. I'm on my latest Minecraft version, and you can see that the booster no longer works and the cart just lands on the plate like so. So, to summarize, this method was actually the only cart detection method before detector rails were introduced in my beta 1.5. But it absolutely doesn't work in beta 1.6 or later, so basically don't use this. The next detector I'm going to show you is a gravity-based empty cart detector. This one relies on the fact that occupied carts have more momentum than empty carts. In other words, this means that occupied carts in general tend to travel faster and farther than their empty counterparts. Now, this detector is simply a 3-block high hill in which the carts travel up on. So if I test it out with an empty cart, you'll see that it does not have enough momentum to clear the hill and it just falls back down, while a occupied cart does have enough momentum to clear the hill. Now, the advantages of this cart detection method is that it only uses regular rails. You don't need any redstone circuitry or complicated pistons here. That makes it very simple to build. But the disadvantage is that it requires the cart to make at least a 3-block climb. So you'll have to find some way of accommodating the vertical nature of this detector. Also, you have to wait for the empty cart to clear, or fall back down in this case, before sending another cart. Next up is the timing-based empty cart detector. Now, this one also takes advantage of the properties of momentum between occupied carts and empty carts. In this detector, all the carts travel over this detector rail, which sets off this time circuit. And the circuit is timed just right so that this switch is engaged just as the empty cart is traveling over it. The occupied carts have enough momentum to bypass this switch and travel straight ahead. So if I test it out with this empty cart, you'll see it reaches the switch and gets diverted just a time to the left, while an occupied cart just rams straight ahead. Now, the timing-based empty cart detector has one advantage, and that is it's completely flat. There are no ups and downs that the carts have to travel through. But it has one very big disadvantage, and that is it requires very precise timing as well as a consistent incoming cart speed. If the incoming cart comes in at a slightly slower or slightly faster speed, it could break the whole detector. And because of that, that's why this detector is considered to be a bit more unreliable than the others. Alright, so we're halfway done, and these last 3 detectors are the ones that I would highly recommend that you use in your current rail systems and stations. And this one, right now, is what I like to call a track jumping empty cart detector. It's called track jumping because in this case the cart does end up landing on this stone pressure plate, but needs some way of getting back on the track and going forward again. And in this case, that mechanism is a piston. So the cart will come along this plate, get hit by this piston, and get pushed onto this powered rail and back onto the track. So if I test it out, use an empty cart, get to the left there, while if I use an occupied cart, straight forward. In a lot of ways, this system is sort of the descendant of the old school detector that used the glitch boosters, but this time instead of using a glitch booster, it uses a piston. So the advantage of this detector is that it's also entirely flat, just like the timing-based detector. But the disadvantage is it might be a bit jarring for the player to get shifted by that piston. So unfortunately, you can't have a completely straight track in your detector here. Next up is a slope detector rail. Now this one is pretty interesting. It was originally invented by a guy named Mr. Frozen 23 and also recently showcased on one of Seth Bling's videos. And all it really is a slope detector rail, as you can see right in front there, connected next to a switch. So if I test this out, with an empty cart, see that goes onto the right, but if I get into this cart, I somehow end up on the left. Now compared to all the other detectors, this one is probably the most simple to build and the most compact of all of them. But it has a few caveats. Firstly, the cart has to go down one block. Second, the cart has to travel at full speed before reaching the detector rail. And thirdly, and I think this is the biggest thing, is that this one might be a bug that may be fixed in the future. So this is not normal behavior that I would expect from a detector rail. So all I can say is use this at your own risk. They may never ever fix this bug. The behavior will always stay the same, but you never know. You might see this disappear, this functionality gone in a future Minecraft update. Alright, so last but not least, this one I like to call as a plate on a fence empty cart detector. And this one is probably my personal favorite. It was originally designed by a guy named Professor Poopy Pants, and it literally is a plate on a fence. This fence is on top of a powered rail going upward, and you just install a stone pressure plate on top of the fence, and you connect that to a switch or whatever else you need power. So if I test it out with an empty cart here, we'll see that goes onto the left, and if I get into this one, I hit the plate and go straight through. So this one is also pretty simple to build and pretty compact. Disadvantages, it requires the cart to make a one block climb, and also the whole plate on a fence thing does obstruct the cart rider's forward view, so some people may not like that aspect of it. Alright, so to end off this video, I thought I'd show you how you'd apply one of these empty cart detection methods to an actual station design. In this particular case, it would be the next version of my Minecart Rapid Transit Station, which I'm still working on. So here I've got my arrival bay from my last video. I've added a few additions to it, and in front of it, for any departing carts, I've installed a plate on a fence. And what this will do is ensure that all the occupied carts will go straight ahead toward the next station, and all the empty carts will end up going in this way, probably towards a dispenser of some sort. So I can show you this in action. I will get myself a cart. So if I get in here, around the bay here, oh, I also made the door open. If I stay in this cart, I got a little chime as I'm going, I'll go straight ahead. If I do the same thing, I'll go back over here, and actually I will arrive, and actually leave the cart this time, and you'll see the cart will end up going in that direction instead. So, yep, that's all I wanted to show you. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps you choose the right empty cart detection best for you. Thank you.
And you're probably here for a Minecraft video. Minecraft. A sandbox game. There's no limit to what you can do. Or is there?
Think about it. Minecraft worlds do have a limit, meaning only a finite number of blocks can be put into one. There are also a lot of blocks that you can put into a world, but again, the number of different blocks is also finite.
What this means is that if you can work out the number of permutations a Minecraft world can be in, with a few assumptions, you can calculate how many possible worlds there are until every single Minecraft world has been accounted for. This number is ridiculously high, but still finite.
To be able to work this out, we need to make a few assumptions. First, that blocks such as beds and doors do not act as double blocks. For instance, assume it's possible to have half a bed. The other assumption is that blocks that depend on others don't have that dependency. For example, redstone dust can float and tall grass can be placed on iron.
With these ideas in place, let's find out how many worlds there are. First of all, we need to work out how many blocks a world can hold. The common thought is that there are 30 million blocks by 30 million blocks by 256 blocks vertically, but this is wrong. From the spawn you can go 30 million blocks in 4 directions, because you can go to minus 30 million as well. Also, the block at the 30 millionth coordinate is a ghost block, as in you fall through it, so this doesn't actually count. So the limit is 29,999,999 in all 4 directions, plus 256 vertically. You also need to remember that there's a block at 0 as well, meaning that the length of a Minecraft world is 2 times 29,999,999 plus 1, which is actually 59,999,999. So the number of blocks total in a Minecraft world is 59 billion squared multiplied by 256, which equals approximately 9.21 times 10 to the 17 total blocks.
Now let's think about the different types of blocks. As on 1.5, according to the Minecraft wiki, there are 142 blocks total. But this doesn't account for rotations and permutations of certain blocks. For example, a furnace can face 4 different ways. Taking all of this into account, the total number of blocks is 653.
To start, let's just look at one place on the block grid. This can be taken up by only one block, so it has 653 total permutations. Now let's look at 2 blocks. The second one can be any of the 653 blocks, for every one of the first block being one of the 653. This means that the total number of permutations of these 2 blocks alone is 653 squared. Let's move on to the whole grid now, containing 9.2 times 10 to the 17 blocks. That means the total number of Minecraft worlds is 653 raised to its 9.2 times 10 to the 17th power.
This is an enormous number. To put this into a form a little easier to understand, it is also approximately equal to 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 1.2651329. You get the picture. This may not seem any more useful, so let's think of some comparisons. 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 2 is 1 Google. This number is much bigger than it. It's not as much as a Googleplex, but it does look to be coming close, even though it actually isn't.
Speaking of the universe, how does this number compare to us? Let's think about atoms. In 1 gram of hydrogen, there is 6.022 times 10 to the 23 atoms of hydrogen. Let's assume that all atoms are the same size. This is not the case, but we're looking at how many of them there are rather than how much they weigh. So for example, a carbon atom is the same size as a hydrogen atom. It's not, but let's just go with that. In 1 kilogram then, we can say that there are 60.22 times 10 to the 23 atoms. The Earth weighs approximately 6 times 10 to the 24 kilograms, meaning that the Earth is actually made up of 6.3 times 10 to the 49 atoms. This is no way near the number of Minecraft worlds. So expanding our search, let's consider the entire observable universe. The universe is roughly estimated to be 93 billion light years in diameter and is thought to be generally spherical. Using the sphere volume formula, 4/3 pi r cubed, the volume is 4.2 times 10 to the 23 cubic light years. The universe is thought to be made up of 0.00000000000000000000042% of matter, while the rest is empty space and dark energy. This gives us a small amount of matter, yet still 1.77 cubic light years of matter. After working out the number of atoms per cubic light year, we get an estimation that overall there is about 10 to the 81 atoms total in the observable universe. This number is not even close to Minecraft. In fact, that isn't even the size of a Google.
But enough about the universe, back to Minecraft. Let's actually think about what those worlds contain. They contain literally everything. If you think about it, you can build letters out of Minecraft blocks, meaning one of those words will contain all the works of Shakespeare. In fact, quite a lot of those worlds do. In another one of those worlds, there will be an entire script of a conversation you had with your parents when you were 5 years old. Every single one of them, in fact. It also includes all the conversations you didn't have with them. One of them will contain a statue of you, your friend, you with your friends, everything. Look out your window right now, assuming you're next to one. There will be a world that looks just like what you're currently looking at, reconstructed in Minecraft. Another one will also contain the secret to cracking all the codes that keep your online banking secure, as well as detailing how to build a quantum computer or a time machine. So next time you load up a Minecraft world, explore. You may even find one of those answers.
And as always, thank you all for watching.